One of the most difficult questions for language teachers is how and when to teach grammar. This is especially true for conversation classes or communicative language classes. So today, I'm going to give you some advice for using a communicative approach to teaching grammar in the language education classroom. First, we must answer the question, what is grammar? For some people, grammar is a scary monster that walks in the classroom, makes students nervous and bored, puts them to sleep, and makes teachers nervous and anxious about what they're going to teach. However, grammar is just a set of rules for combining words to express meaning. The ultimate goal for teaching grammar is that your students reach a high level of communicative grammatical competence. That is, that they achieve the ability to use and understand a structure in a variety of situations spontaneously. Although a communicative approach to teaching grammar means that you teach grammar implicitly rather than explicitly, some experts still argue that grammar should be taught explicitly. These people say that students need to use correct sentence structure when speaking English. Also, grammatical competence is necessary for communicative competence. Grammar is needed to pass placement tests or fluency tests. Also, grammar is essential for becoming better writers and speakers. Grammar is also helpful in raising awareness of fossilized language production. Teachers preferring a communicative approach to teaching grammar will argue that grammar should not be taught deductively. An inductive approach facilitates understanding of grammatical structures in the natural order of language acquisition. For example, practice and use present tense before acquiring the ability to use past tense. Also, an inductive approach is similar to a student's interlanguage development. Don't put the cart in front of the horse. Students develop a feeling for grammar similar to their first language acquisition. Increases intrinsic motivation by minimizing aspects of language learning that could be considered tedious or boring. An inductive approach also allows for students to discover the rules of grammar usage, thereby retaining an understanding for those rules longer. Finally, a deductive approach is often grammar lessons that do not use meaningful language. When using a communicative approach to teach grammar, there are a few things a teacher needs to consider. First, the younger the students, the less likely they will be able to understand abstract concepts. Second, the lower the proficiency level, the less likely students will be able to use intricate grammatical structures. Third, the more linguistic distance between first language and second language, the more practice students will need to master new grammatical structures. And fourth, full grammatical competence will come at a later stage. When teaching grammar, it's also important to keep in mind Penny Ehr's 4 stages of teaching grammar. First, presentation. Next, isolation and explanation. Third, practice, practice, and practice. Fourth, test. Penny Ehr's 4 stages of teaching grammar may be slightly different depending on your students. Remember, always think of who are my students, what are their needs. For example, the approach for young learners or very low proficient English speakers may be in the presentation stage for an introduction, warm-ups, and a lot of repetition. Those students will probably benefit from more pictures and tangible examples. Try to avoid translation. Question and answer pair work and group work are often good communicative approaches to teaching grammar for this type of learners. Games, role plays, reports are all ways of testing how much the students have retained of what you have been teaching them. For an approach for older or higher proficiency learners, Text, tapes, short stories, dialogues with short exercises can be done at the presentation stage. When you're isolating and explaining the grammar, timelines, rules within a rule, and giving examples are all ways to explain specific grammar or grammatical structures. Pair work, group work, and inclusion assignments are good for practice. And performance-based assessment or formal testing are good at the feedback or test stage. At this point, you may be thinking, why should I use a communicative approach for teaching grammar? Well, according to Douglas Brown, using a communicative approach can have long-lasting effects that occur only when the learner has opportunities to hear and use the target structure in communication. Language learning is more effective when it involves real communicative acts. Now that you understand a little more about a communicative approach to teaching grammar, you may be wondering, where can I get some good lessons where I can use a communicative approach for teaching grammar to my students? Well, please visit our website, ESL Resource Bank, and go to the Conversation Lessons page on our website for free lessons that can help you teach grammar using a communicative approach. And if you like any of the lessons, please share them with your fellow teachers and tell all of your friends about our website, ESL Resource Bank, at eslresourcebank.com.